One sunny Saturday morning, best friends Alex, Maya, and Ethan set off to visit Willow Creek Farm, a place they loved for its rolling hills, fields of wildflowers, and the friendly animals. But what really fascinated them about the farm was the strange weather. Last time we came, it was raining here while it was sunny at home, Maya said, pulling her jacket tighter as a sudden cool breeze swept past them. And the time before that, it was so foggy we could barely see the barn, Ethan added. Alex adjusted his backpack. It's like the farm has its own weather system. Let's figure out why. The three friends had made it their mission to solve the mystery of the farm's unusual weather. Armed with notebooks, a thermometer, and a barometer borrowed from their school's science lab, they were ready to investigate. As they walked up the dirt path to the farm, they noticed puffy white clouds beginning to gather overhead. Ethan pointed to the hills in the distance. Those clouds seemed to stick around the farm. Why don't they drift away? Maya thought for a moment. Maybe the hills are trapping them? Good idea, Alex said, jotting it down. Let's see if the hills have something to do with it. They climbed to the top of the highest hill where they felt a stronger breeze. Alex took out the barometer and recorded the air pressure. It's lower up here than it was down by the barn, he noted. What does that mean? Ethan asked. Low pressure usually means cooler air and sometimes rain, Alex explained. Maybe that's why the clouds are gathering. Back at the barn, Maya pointed out how the clouds seemed to grow darker. I read that clouds form when warm air rises and cools, she said. Maybe the hills are pushing the air up. Ethan nodded. And when the air cools, it can't hold as much moisture, so the water forms clouds. The friends decided to test this idea. Using a large jar, a plastic bag, and a little warm water, they created a mini cloud. Maya carefully added a few drops of water to the jar and sealed it with the bag. When she squeezed the bag, the air inside the jar cooled and a small cloud formed. That's exactly what's happening here, Alex said. The warm air from the fields is rising over the hills, cooling and making clouds. Later that afternoon, they noticed the creek running through the farm. The water was icy cold, even though it was a warm day. Why is the creek so cold? Ethan wondered, dipping his hand into the water. Alex shrugged. Maybe it's coming from underground. Let's see where it starts. Following the creek upstream, they found its source, a small spring shaded by trees and large rocks. Maya had an idea. If the water here stays cold, it might cool the air above it. That could be why it feels cooler near the creek. And the cooler air might be affecting the weather too, Ethan added. As evening fell, the three friends sat on a hay bale piecing together what they had learned. The farm's unique weather, they realized, was the result of several factors. 1. The hills caused warm air to rise, leading to cloud formation. 2. The low pressure on the hills made it more likely for rain to develop. The cold creek cooled the air nearby, adding to the unusual temperature differences. It's like the farm is its own little weather lab, Alex said with a grin. Maya nodded. We should write all this down and show it to Miss Carter in science class. She'll be amazed. Ethan laughed. And maybe she'll let us borrow the weather station again for our next adventure. With that, the three friends headed home, their notebooks full of observations and their minds buzzing with excitement for their next adventure.